Hey YouTube. I look a little bit of a mess, but it's okay. I cannot come on here for that. I come on here to talk about wisdom. Listen, God has been feeding me. He's been doing his thing in this season. So I want to talk about wisdom because wisdom is so important. But yeah. So just listen. Oh, and I hope y'all like my intro because I am going to put my intro in here. This intro, I don't think that it would be used for vlogs because I kind of like the vibe of me jumping into my vlogs without the intro, but for like videos like this, I'm using my intro. But yes, so today we are reading Proverbs 1:20 through 33. So this says, wisdom calls out in the street. She makes her voice heard in the public squares. She cries out above the commotion. She speaks at the entrance of the city gates. We're just going to start right there. Wisdom calls out. Okay? She makes her voice heard. She makes her voice heard in the public squares. She cries out above the commotion. That really spoke to me when I heard that. Because I think about when I'm in the middle of making a good decision and a bad decision, it feels like chaos. I'm not even, like, it feels like chaos. Like, it feels like commotion. Like, it feels like it's a lot going on. Like, it's so much in between making that good decision and making that bad decision. It's just like a lot going on. But it says, she cries out above the commotion. Wisdom cries out above the commotion. She cries out above the commotion. She speaks at the entrance of the city gates. The entrance. She speaks
The
at the
entrance, not the
entrance.
exit.
She's right there. She's right. She's right there before you make that decision to lay down with somebody. Before you make that decision to pick up that blunt. Before you make that decision to lie to someone. Before you make that decision to steal. Before you make that decision to touch yourself, to do this, to do that, before, she's there, she is asking you, but not literally, but before, she's there at the entrance before you make that bad decision. So what are you going to do? Are you going to make that bad decision, or are you going to make a destiny decision? It's this sermon that I've been watching by Jerry Flowers, and it's the Destiny Decision segment. He do multiple sermons around it, and that has really been speaking to me. Like, wisdom is there. Wisdom is there for you. Wisdom is there. Are you going to have wisdom? Are you going to have wisdom to make that destiny decision, or are you going to ignore wisdom and make that decision of temporary pleasure? Like, wisdom is there at the entrance before you make that decision. Wisdom is there. Wisdom is there to be like, oh, okay, I'm going to use wisdom to make that destiny decision. I'm not going to go smoke that blunt. I'm not going to go fight that girl. I'm not going to say what I was going to say. I'm not going to get in the bed with that person. I'm not going to steal. I'm not going to touch myself. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do that. And that takes wisdom to make that destiny decision and to do what's right. Wisdom is there at the entrance before you make that decision. Wisdom is there. Are you going to make a destiny decision, or are you going to make that bad decision? Use wisdom. Use wisdom, use wisdom, use wisdom. I cannot stress that enough, y'all, because if you don't use wisdom, it gets you into so much stuff. Like, and I don't think people really know how much those worldly things that you decide to do, those things that are for temporary pleasure, people don't realize how serious they can be. Not only are you getting into those things, but you're being disobedient. You're making that bad decision. You're, for one, letting that thing come in the middle of your intimacy with Jesus, and you're opening those doors to so many other things and spirits. Wisdom is so important, because if you don't use wisdom to make that destiny decision, you will open a whole can of so much more than you thought you were, just by not using wisdom and making that not using wisdom and making that destiny decision how we're called to do. So use wisdom. How long, inexperienced ones, will you love ignorance? How long will you mockers enjoy mocking, and you fools will hate knowledge? If you respond to my warning, then I will pour out my spirit on you and teach you my words. Since I called out and you refused, extended my hand and no one paid attention. Since you neglected all my counsel and did not accept my correction, I, in turn, will laugh at your calamity. This the word, y'all. The word don't lie. Since wisdom called out and you refused, since you didn't pay attention, since you neglected all counsel, since you did not accept correction, I, in turn, will laugh at your calamity. I don't think nobody want that. Another reason why it's so important to listen when wisdom calls out is so important. Listen. I will mock when terror strikes you. When terror strikes you like a storm, and your calamity comes like a whirlwind, when trouble and stress overcome you. This is the things that can happen when you don't make destiny decisions, when you don't use wisdom to make that decision, when you just jump and do something reckless. Calamity comes like a whirlwind. A whirlwind. When trouble and stress overcome you, then they will call me, but I won't answer. They will search for me, but won't find me, because they hated knowledge, didn't choose to fear the Lord. If you don't know, Proverbs 1:7, it says, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge. Fools despise wisdom and instruction. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge. Fools despise wisdom and instruction. Don't be a fool. The word said it, I didn't. But okay. 29. Because they hated knowledge, didn't choose to fear the Lord. Because it says, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge. It says, because they hated knowledge and didn't choose to fear the Lord, were not interested in my counsel and rejected all my correction, they will eat the fruit of their way and be glutted with their own schemes. If you do not use wisdom, you're going to pay for it. Okay? And no lie, speaking from experience, I've had so many situations, literally. I'm going to say it like this. Every decision that I made without wisdom when I was in the world, when I gave my life to God, I paid for it. Even with God helping me, I kid you not, I went through so much pain. And it was for a reason, of course. You know, God makes every bad thing for good. But speaking of my experience, every decision that I made without wisdom in the world, bro, just use wisdom. Save yourself. Use wisdom, because I paid for it. So, and thank you, Lord, thank God for his grace and mercy, because he was there to help me and be there for me and give me strength, and he was with me. But we can't save ourselves, so let me not say that, but use wisdom. Use wisdom. Don't make it harder for yourself, because it don't feel good. It don't feel good. And even now, say, any decision that I make without wisdom now, I still have to pay for it. You want to use wisdom. Fear the Lord. Fear the Lord. Don't despise wisdom and discipline. Discipline. What did I say? Did I say wisdom and discipline? The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge. Fools despise wisdom and discipline. Sorry if I said knowledge earlier, but fools despise wisdom and discipline. Or wisdom and instruction, depending on which version you use, but yeah. Discipline instruction. Okay, so 30. Were not interested in my counsel and rejected all my correction. They will eat the fruit of their way and be glutted with their own schemes. It's a scripture. It's just like, sow into your flesh, get destruction. Sow into your spirit. More of the story is you want to sow good things. You want to sow into the spirit. You don't want to sow into the flesh, because when you sow into the flesh, it leads to destruction, basically. So that's what that reminded me of when they say they will eat the fruit of their way, you know. You want to bear good fruit, you know. So, and be good with their own schemes. For the apostasy, whatever that word is, of the inexperienced will kill them, and the complacency of fools will destroy them. Don't be a fool, y'all, okay? But whoever listens to me will live securely and be undisturbed by the dread of danger. Who don't want to be undisturbed, first of all? I know it's folks watching this video that be having their phone on do not disturb all the time. But whoever listens to me will live securely and be undisturbed by the dread of danger. Not using wisdom and just jumping to do something, not using wisdom before you make that decision can put you in a lot of danger. Literally. And not just physically, but spiritually as well. It was a lot of decisions that I made when I was in the world, and I made them without wisdom. So, when I tell y'all, when I did come to God and start living with Him, I was fighting some things. Like with God, of course, He goes before me. But, like, the stuff, I remember one of the decisions, or not a decision, well, it was a decision. Because at the end of the day, not to get into that, I remember sitting in the same bed when I first started trying to walk with Christ. And because of a decision that I made without wisdom while living in the world, I sat in this bed, and I kid you not, I struggled to even be present and to remember who I was. Like, my mind was going so, like, I feel like I couldn't even form a thought because I was dealing with so much spiritually. It was like one of the first times I experienced like real bad spiritual warfare. Like, I'm talking about just demons, dealing with so many demons, so many spirits, so many demons, so many spirits, and dealing with so much witchcraft. Witchcraft, you don't want to play with witchcraft, y'all. Use wisdom. Wisdom is going to save you from danger. Witchcraft, I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy. Don't do it. Before you lay in that bed with that girl, with that boy, use wisdom and choose not to do it. Witchcraft, you don't. Witchcraft ain't nothing to play with. Stay away. Wisdom will save you from danger, and save you from danger. And I'll say that so many times. Don't do it. Wisdom. She cries out above the commotion. She is at the entrance. Use that wisdom to make that destiny decision. Choose making that destiny decision over choosing that temporary pleasure decision. And I'm telling y'all this from experience. Just do it. But yeah, this video is longer than I expected it to be. But I knew I wanted to make a video, but I just didn't know what. But so thank you, Lord. Our reward goes to Him. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Wisdom.